Welcome back. This is the Artificial Intelligence Show. This is your co-host, Ola Semenikai, and I'm with
your residential artist, Henrietta Wright.
y'all. How we're feeling today? I hope everybody's doing good. So we've been having some great talk about really much what is originality, especially these artists' originality, because people need to understand that creative expression, creative output is really how we even generated AI in the first place. So I think when we think about color my world, we want to avoid those gray areas as I mentioned earlier. So I think what we want to dive into now is how do we think outside the box? How do we color outside the code? Because we want to bring back this expression. So you know that when we think about AI education, this is what artificial intelligence really comes into play when we think about the show. We want us audience to understand that we need to educate ourselves and inform ourselves that art as a human is our right. And it often starts with the structures, basically the data your mind is computing, especially when it's looking at how your art should be formulated and how you want to address your audience. And pretty much when you relate that back to education or science, you think about the prompts and the predictions. So a lot of people forget that educators and scientists are also artists in their own rights when it comes to that coloring outside the code and thinking outside the box. So then we ask ourselves, what happens when we intentionally move outside the structure and we let ourselves see like, oh, we're just going to let AI take all the creative risks and we don't take the risk. So that's really important because as you would think, that's your soul. Your souls is really pertain to helping people learn about themselves through your art and reflect a lot about themselves. So it's really important because you apply rubrics in your class as a professor, but you're also outside of that having your students apply creativity. And creativity doesn't follow a rubric. It resists constraints. So when we are trying to address these students or people who just really listen to this podcast, we're trying to encourage them to color aside that code. They shouldn't be copy and pasting what AI gives to them. They should really be seeing like, what are they trying to stop from being mimic and what can they actually output and start making what's meaningful. And that can't be generated by a machine. It has to be generated by their own originality.
Yeah, it's like my mind is always constantly thinking about thinking, and as you're talking, I was looking at the fact that as an artist, as a teacher or a student, and you as a coder, we all begin with a blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's a blank canvas. For you, it's I don't know what you call it, but maybe a blank window.
Yes.
And for them, it's a blank lesson plan or something.
Yes.
And we have to figure out what tools are we going to use for this final output that we're going to have. And for me, it's the production that creates this piece. For you, it's these codes and this algorithm that comes up with this particular thing. And for the teacher, it's all the objectives and goals that creates this particular lesson plan. And so I like that, a way to be able to connect all of those particular things as we talk about AI and we talk about education and so on and so forth. So.
Yeah, and I like how you bring it back to me. Basically, some of my art is creating apps that can really assist with the contribution to the world, especially when we think about science research. So I'm always thinking, how can I build without that blueprint that AI has already put into a lot of people's lives? Let's be real. Right now, we need to have a call to action for all these educators, for all these scientists, for all these artists. We are right now under attack about what's our originality. So when I open a terminal, yes, I do get assistance from basically what AI is going to help. But then I also think about how I'm going to debug, how I'm going to make sure that this pertains to my audience. And so AI can't just give me everything because what I notice is if you give trash, you get back trash. And that's really what is going on with a lot of people's content is that you can really see when AI is being generated compared to those who have been doing it, creating their art and really just seeing that, hey, this is my code and this is my color. So now you're seeing a lot of black and white versus all that rainbow that we used to have in these artists' originality. And yeah, I really want people to reclaim their originality. I really want people to color their world because we're living a black and white of AI. AI has been here, that is true. But I think when we think about different movies like I Legend, there's so much originality of it, but it also let us know this is what can happen if we don't really think outside the box and thinking about what is ethically needs to happen, what originally needs to happen, and what we can do to keep on moving forward as humans.
So it really is artificial versus artofficial.
Exactly.
Because the very word artificial is fake, and then we're talking about something that is original, which is authentic.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And so I really want us to bring that back in a full cycle. Coloring outside the code is an invitation. We are trying to encourage y'all to create boldly. We are encouraging y'all to teach bravely. We encourage you to research with the creative risk and remind yourself that the world, that creativity lives beyond prediction. We want you to know that we are ahead of the game, and we want you to know that as we come back, we're going to talk more about originality. We're going to talk about more about art, and most importantly, we're going to keep creating this and giving you the best output. And you are tuning in to Artificial Intelligence. Bye for now.
And that's official.